Tonight, a Fox 10 Investigates exclusive. A lawsuit claims 3 Valley strip clubs used an elaborate scheme to charge customers' credit cards for excessively high amounts without authorization.
Nearly 20 alleged victims sued these clubs, claiming they were drugged and robbed in VIP rooms. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum joins us live now with a story you will only see here on Fox 10.
Left incapacitated, waking up lost and confused to find several credit card transactions worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's how plaintiffs describe what happened to them at 3 clubs. The total amount of money charged between them easily clears $1 million. The alleged victims feeling violated and stripped of peace of mind. Within the nightlife of the Valley is a 2-mile stretch from Loop 202 down North Scottsdale Road past McDowell. Some looking to stay out after dinner and drinks. Take a drive and you'll notice 3 strip clubs on this stretch: Dream Palace in Tempe, Skin Cabaret, and Bones Cabaret in Scottsdale. All 3 are now at the center of a civil lawsuit referred to as sister clubs. The latest complaint and demand for a jury trial filed back in January. The complaint accuses the ownership of racketeering and conspiracy, as well as several other allegations. There are now nearly 20 plaintiffs in the case, and we spoke to 2 who want to remain anonymous. We'll call the first alleged victim Joe. Joe says he and his friends were at Bones Cabaret 4 years ago when he got separated after going to the bathroom.
I remember kind of walking through what I thought was like a cloud of like either perfume or makeup or something, like dusty. From one of the kind of like cracks of lights that was kind of coming through. And that's when I ended up actually in a VIP room and started to get these symptoms that felt not alcohol related, something else.
Do you believe you were drugged?
I do, yes.
Joe confirms he did not take a drug test, nor did other plaintiffs in the case, but they all say they became incapacitated after entering VIP rooms.
I felt like I kind of didn't have control of the situation. That was really the first instance that I knew.
Joe says he couldn't get out of the VIP room while his friends couldn't get in before he was moved to Dream Palace. The next day, he discovered several charges on multiple credit cards. How much was the total?
Just under $72,000.
Joe's not alone. Fox 10 obtained Scottsdale police reports specifically linked to the clubs mentioned in the lawsuit. In September of 2021, a financial crimes detective says he started seeing many cases reported by alleged victims detailing common factors like VIP rooms, having memory loss, signing and thumbprinting paperwork, photos taken of them, and extremely high credit card charges. Reports say patrons visited from several different states, telling police they were brought into these VIP rooms.
Just confused, felt lost, spaced out. I had no clue where I was at that point.
Another plaintiff we'll call Bobby describes the same experience. Bobby admits to only 2 transactions he agreed to, paying for drinks and a private dance. But after that, he says he authorized nothing else at Skin Cabaret. He later found 8 transactions on his credit card account.
Didn't think that these were actually legitimate transactions at that point. It just seemed unconscionable that this would even happen.
His total amount of charges, the highest of all the plaintiffs.
$181,000.
And the fallout has been traumatic.
Certainly strain on not only myself, my family, wife, had to get my parents involved. We have little children as well, so just the impact emotionally was pretty difficult to bear.
Joe is in the Air Force, stationed in Arizona, now feeling the stress.
It's been literally life and career altering for me. My career took a detour that off of the trajectory that I had worked hard to provide for myself.
They all tell the same story, yet none of them have met.
Rod Galarza is the attorney representing nearly 20 plaintiffs in the lawsuit. Police reports reveal how the VIP room process works. After negotiating a price with the hostess, the customer signs a contract, provides a credit card, ID, gives a thumbprint, and takes a photo. But as the lawsuit states, plaintiffs believe they were somehow drugged, claiming they barely remember signing any contract at all.
They vaguely recall someone yelling at them to quit messing around and hold the pen properly so that they could sign a document on a clipboard. alternatively being yelled at by a bouncer or a hostess to sit up straight and smile.
It felt like watching a movie through my own eyes, almost an out-of-body experience, because in my mind I'm screaming to myself that this is wrong, to leave, to fight my way out, but they have the bouncer at the door, the disorienting hallways, like I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out.
One plaintiff claims club reps approved transactions via text with credit card companies by using the Face ID function, holding the owner's iPhone in front of their face to unlock it. The complaint says Todd Borowski is the sole director, shareholder, and the president of Wisnowski Incorporated, which does business under Skin Cabaret and Bones Cabaret. In a court filing by the defendants last month, they deny all allegations. Borowski's lawyer released a statement to Fox 10 that reads in part, quote, "The cases are baseless. It's like going into a casino and asking for your money back after you choose to be there." Dennis Willenchik goes on to say that the plaintiffs were not drugged and the dancers were independent contractors, citing the signed documents and photos, saying, quote, "Their credit card companies also investigated and approved the transactions." Joe confirms his credit card company left him on the hook with the entire debt.
They ended up holding me accountable for those charges, and I'm still recovering from that.
Galarza says charges went beyond credit card limits for clients specifically with American Express accounts.
In each one of these cases, an American Express card was used, and in virtually every case, the credit limit was exceeded.
Bobby's Amex credit card limit was around $22,000, yet his charges totaled more than $180,000. A spokesperson with Amex responded saying, quote, "American Express policy is to review all disputes, including considering evidence submitted by our card members and seeking merchant support for the disputed charges. We followed our standard policies and procedures in this case. Due to pending litigation, we do not have further comment at this time." According to Galarza, the average total charges for each plaintiff is $72,000, and with nearly 20 victims, the sum is more than $1.1 million. Are you still traumatized?
Oh yeah. I've done as much as I can think to compartmentalize the situation and try to control what I can control and get over it, but every time I make progress in my life to move on, I get an email about it, I get a text about it. I remember that, I could be able to afford X, Y, or Z, or have savings built up and capitalize and have those options that I've rightfully earned, but that all got taken away from me.
Scottsdale PD is aware, and a spokesperson confirms police are working with the Arizona Attorney General's office on cases involving Bones Cabaret, Skin Cabaret, and Dream Palace. The AG's office declined to comment. No trial date has been set at this time.
I think, to me, it's shocking how organized and sophisticated it all seems, right? Because all of these people seemingly don't know each other, and they're all reporting similar things. And then the credit card charges being racked up, they had access to their phones. It's just...
The stories are extremely similar. I mean, we found police reports dating back 3 to 4 years, and then you go to the Better Business Bureau and you see several reviews and complaints on these businesses, and all of these incidents are describing the same alleged scheme that we've been reading about, that people feel like they're out of sorts, incapacitated, and these credit card charges are enormous.
And nobody's been charged yet. There have been no criminal charges at all.
Active investigation.
Are the women who were involved in this, the dancers, are they long gone? Some of them still there? I mean, this is kind of a, the community that travels a little bit.
It's a good question of who is exactly involved, but we know that it takes a number of people to be involved in this type of scheme that we're reading about, because as we read in these reports, there's a bouncer that keeps someone isolated in this VIP room, and there are the dancers or independent contractors that are working to get these contracts signed, allegedly, and a manager or some sort of staff member running the cards in a span of a few hours, and they wake up to these incredible charges.
I do want to point out, too, you mentioned that this goes back a couple years, right? This isn't just this year that's what's happening.
This is a few years, 3 to 4 years at least. We saw dating back to 2021. And MCSO, just to note, is involved as well, because Dream Palace is on a county island in Tempe. So they are assisting Scottsdale PD however they can. But it looks like Scottsdale PD is the lead on this case, and we'll be keeping track.
Okay. Keep us up to date on it. Justin, I know you will.